All right, Vegas, make a little noise for me because we are ready to send these players down to the map in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they are dropping down, Jason. We saw where they selected. We're going to see this distribution, and we are jumping straight on with Benny Boy, and he's looking like a G.
Yeah, so we're going to see that skin set up from Set to Destroy. We talked about it earlier. You can get the packs of whatever team you want to support. Heck, if you want to support them all, $249.99, and you can get every single team. Plus, we're going to throw in a bonus H1 Pro League off-roader. That's actually my favorite car skin in the game right now.
I really like how you did that. $249.99.
$249.99. It is under $250.
Good job. So one of the things, if you can't decide like me, just go ahead and buy absolutely everything, and then you can switch it up as the day dictates. Like
he's not kidding. It's a problem. He buys everything.
I have a problem. If anybody has a couch that I could sleep on, let me know. But as you can see right now, they are going to be roaming around the map, just grabbing as much loot as they can. The crowd getting loud for Douglas Raw, even in light of that double-jointed, scary
double-jointed elbow. Oh man. Yeah, that was he did it again when he walked on stage, right? He looked right at you and did it.
He screamed at me and he goes, "Yo, Rich," and then he just breaks his arm in front of me. Now we're on board with Kyrie as he roams around the map. And last time we saw a much slower paced game than we really did see in the previous weeks of the H1Z1 Pro League with this current scoring system, right? We talk about it quite a bit. The scoring system has made stuff quite quick. It has made it a lot faster. It's going to emphasize aggression. But every single safe zone is going to have a huge impact on how these players play. That's why consistency is going to be key here over the next coming weeks. Every single Wednesday at 7 o'clock on that West Coast time, Pacific time. Same time, same place on Facebook. You're going to be able to see which team truly is the most consistent. But that means that the safe zone this time around is going to be that important.
Yeah, Echo Fox is going to be one of those teams to definitely keep an eye on that needs to come up a little bit. And again, like you said, we can definitely check out all the matches here, 7 p.m. every week on Wednesdays. It's up on the screen for you guys. Pre-show kicking off at 7 p.m. Round 1 kicks off at 7:15. And then based on the halftime show and game number 1's end time, the second round's to be determined, but it's definitely coming.
Time is a fickle beast. That's what that is. On board with Crank as he gets inside a vehicle. So we're going to actually see, last time, obviously these teams trying to get as many vehicles as they can, right? Every team wants to get their own little caravan set up. Early on in game number 1 of this week, we saw Magnums getting broken out, trying to chew up vehicles. We actually saw some teams just getting pretty much stranded without a vehicle. We'll have to see if we see that again. And finally, Obey, they had an awful position last game. This time they're going to be set up relatively well.
So this is something to pay attention to. We talked about this. Rogue has done this setup before for this safe zone, but they were a little spread out. This is really opening them up to being able to get pinched right now. If a team comes across you, we see Noble coming up on Rogue right now. They could really decide that they only see 2 and 5-man hop on 2, and you've got a 5v2 to net yourselves some early points. So that's a rough spot. I don't like that initial spread in that area personally.
Wee-oo. Honestly, though, that is just an engagement waiting to happen.
Yeah.
You need to keep your eye on that, and we will be as well. As you can see right now, trying to rotate on over to that safe zone, and we talked about the fact that yes, everything slowed down because of the last safe zone. What does this safe zone telegraph to you? What do you think these players are? How do you think they're going to play this one besides just trying to get in the center?
You've got a little bit of a lake in the center, which is going to make it a little rough to get there. I definitely see some teams that are going to come into IT or the H1Z1. There's a couple different names for it, but there's a little bit of a housing complex there. Definitely expect some teams to be in there, which adds a lot of cover. That's actually a lot of buildings. Probably 2 to 3 teams can fit in that area. But you can see Rogue making that rotation. They're going to actually probably rotate out really far to that west side. I'm cheating a little. You guys can't see it at home. I can see the map at all times. So
this could be huge for them.
This could be really big for them. We'll see what comes out of that. He's going to go ahead and hop in, and you can see that go off. So all other teams are now aware that there's somebody there. They are on it. So he's going to go ahead and grab and go. Stormin going to net themselves that. So he now needs to get met up with the rest of the team, though. The team needs to group up, and they are separated. And as people try to get to the middle of the safe zone, there's going to be a wall of teams. Right now, they're getting split by Cloud9, actually. I believe Cloud9 was right next to them, so we'll see if that ends up getting becoming an engagement here in a moment or two.
I mean, being isolated like that, they could just be torn apart like stray gazelles left from the herd when a lion's on the hunt. I mean, that's honestly what could happen there. Was that a good... Do you think people at home will get that one?
Yeah, it was perfect. There's no way they couldn't understand what you were talking about there.
Gazelles. They're stranded gazelles right now. I mean, honestly, though, they need to make a trek back to each other. They're separated right now by Salty Tear Lake. Will that investment, though, by actually going over, trying to get that early loot, will that be enough? If they can get together, I think the answer is yes. I think it will definitely pay off. If they can all converge on each other, hold a good position, and wait for people to try to breach, they use those power items that they actually were able to grab, and they just chop people up. Let's see if that's what they're able to do. But back on board with Reptar, we told you about this guy a little bit earlier on in the day. Big performer for his team last week. Will he be able to do it again? Candyman going to get a little bit of damage into him right here. It looks like he's going to be hanging out at about 80% into that police car. Doesn't want to overcommit to one of these early game engagements. But once again, I feel like we really have seen the meta slow down just a tiny bit here. No early game gunfights, waiting for everything to kind of collapse in. Not even playing that war of attrition as of yet, Jason.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet today. The matches have definitely slowed down a little bit, and I don't know if that's the circle dictating that, or if it's just teams respecting the fact that everybody wants to fight and not wanting to get eliminated early. We definitely saw the fight start opening up a lot once we hit that 10-team left alive spot. So definitely a spot or something to watch out for and see if maybe it picks up after the first 5 teams get eliminated.
Beautiful precision was coming in there from Crossover. We got to talk to him a little bit earlier on, talking about just how much this league means to him. Obviously still active in the military, doing this as well, flying back week after week, still engaged in this gunfight. What will he be able to pull off today? That team just having such a large order, such a tall order to really fulfill today after entering with 0 points. They've already started on that path, though. Now taking a look at LG, a team that managed to go on that path a little bit earlier. They're able to pick things up in week number 2. How will this ring fare for them in our final round of the day?
Not sure. We're definitely going to have to hang out and find out as this match progresses. And we can see that Rhino is still in an engagement here. So Tempo Storm not really able to get completely out. They've got a couple teams around them. A little bit of a hard area to get out of without driving into another team, as these teams have already started kind of dictating where they're going to be. They've set up shop. They're not going to move until this gas circle closes in and we get the next one announced. So they're kind of stuck in the rock and a hard place scenario.
I'm very curious if we actually see this round go down in a similar fashion to the last round. Last round was so exciting. Absolutely lights out crazy, some of the things that we saw come out there, and it was one of those situations where all of a sudden all the kills just happening in this short burst. It felt very old, very similar to the old meta, and now we can see already
a little more aggressive than the old meta, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. But it was the quick concession felt very similar, you know, which was interesting to see, and a lot of love coming out for Alliance tonight in Vegas. We already see, though, that these players kind of grouped up in a very, very close quarters, even closer than they need to be in this safe zone.
Yeah, a couple shots going to come out from Howie as he's looking for shots onto Impact. Kind of dinking up the car there of Blank, eating into it a bit. He looks like he might want to try and pursue a little bit here. That, or he's decided that the area they were leaving is the spot that he wants. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and drive out to scout for the team.
He's going to do just that. Still very close to his squad. Looks like he's going to rotate back on over for them. They're going to go for an all-out assault when they do go for one. But you can see in that top right portion of your screen, that is one of the most aggressive teams that we've seen in this league. And now when we jump onto them, of course their fingers are on the trigger. They got sights on LG. They got sights on Gangstars. And maybe right now just trying to decide, okay, when are we going to run in and just start to throw some punches?
I love the sunglasses on Ana tonight. Just as cool as can be. Throw on the shades, play it up a little bit, but Set to Destroy definitely one of those aggressive teams, and he's just hanging out. One of the lower heart rates, actually. He seems pretty calm.
It's kind of dark in here, though.
Yeah, right?
It's definitely an interesting strategy.
We'll see if it works out. They won the last match, so it did something right.
It seems to be working. Now we do see Obey Alliance chew up a bullet or two into that car, and you can see a little bit of smoke kicking off the back of it right now. Once again, crossover going to be our player in our POV, and his heart rate anything but calm right now, and I think a large portion of that is because of how much he does have to prove.
Yeah, it's definitely a big spot. They need to step up. They need to get some more points on the game, on the board. They did net some in the last match, but nobody's netted one yet. So this round's going a little bit slower. Somebody needs to be that catalyst to kind of set things in motion, and we'll see who ends up being the first team. Maybe Obey Alliance is the one.
If a player ultimately doesn't become the catalyst, pretty soon the gas will, as it is advancing. Yep. But like you said, every single player up, all 15 of our teams. Who's going to be the first one to fall? CTSM just taking a look around, trying to see who is hanging out in the wings. Who will be the first to engage? We can see just everybody kind of holding their ground right now. And these shots here, it's like, okay, maybe I eat into the vehicle. Maybe I just go, hey, instead of trying to be sneaky, this is where I'm at. Don't step two unless you want a gunfight.
It's a little bit of all of that, right? It is, I am here, this is my spot. Don't come in unless you're looking to do a crazy play. You're going to have to trade some players with us. But it's also just slowly eating away at their resources. It's eating away at the vehicle, putting a little damage into it. Maybe you catch a helmet or an armor and you get that off of them. Anything you can take from them, even if you hit just the body, they're having to use some of their healing. And eventually you start to run out of those things. So regardless, putting the shots out I don't think is ever a bad thing unless a team is already right on top of you and you're trying to do that sneaky, cheeky style play. I think it's worth putting the shot out every time and taking a chance.
Hey, if you're not going for these gunfights, the war of attrition becomes more important because of the late game. You know, if you pull a helmet, if you actually pull a body armor off, then all of a sudden, what are they going to do? Now, it's actually Rogue once again going to be Rogue.
Yeah, Rogue going for another one here. So Husker's going to go ahead and loot this one up. You can see that he's taking out one of the body armors, throwing it on the ground for a teammate to pick it up. He's grabbed the other one. He's going to run inside, I believe, as the bomb plane comes through. It's not going to be over this airdrop. There's multiple airdrops that drop at the same time, and it only does the bomb plane over one of them. So they luckily did not get bombed at this one. They're going to go ahead and get the second airdrop of the match.
And they're going to have that mobile storage unit as well, just throwing everything on in the trunk there of that car. And this could be huge for them. You talk about that war of attrition. A lot of the times we talk about what players can actually take away from other teams. Here, it's just going to be pure loot. Now, potentially one of our first big gunfights going to be using the Magnum right now is Gabesmon. We talk about how efficient it really is at eating up vehicles. How much damage will Gabesmon be able to do? Now he moves back on over to his car, and you can still hear those planes overhead. But ultimately, no one's really biting yet. We have to emphasize just how important that war of attrition really is going to be now as we start to move in to this ring. Gas advancing in just 3 short seconds here.
Yeah, I'm starting to put my money on the bombs as being the first one to get a kill. None of these guys are quite ready to start getting these elims. None of them want to put themselves out there yet. So this is definitely a little bit slower than what we saw in week 2, which just ends up making the mid and late game that much faster.
Part of it is definitely going to be the ring. Oh, here we go.
Shurima looking for it, so Noble going to come in really aggressive onto Alliance. They end up getting that helmet, and it looks like they are ready to be that Catalyst team. They are starting to chase them down. Kolji out here in the open, going to lose the helmet, but he's going to turn. MP going to turn, take down Shurima, so Shurima gets punished as he comes in to try and get the kill onto Kolji.
It's just a turn and a 2-tap, and they're looking for more. You step 2. Can you finish supper? The answer is no, but finally Noble able to trade out 2. Now Alliance going to have some weak members. Mountain just bleeding out here. A big shotgun kill going to come in as well. Mountain does fall down. Now, all of a sudden, Alliance and Noble just absolutely cannibalized each other. And this is one of the reasons that getting in the first gunfight may not work sometimes. Putting in some nice shots there, popping out, then going back into the car. Will he actually chase? Guys, we need to take one more look at that because that was an absolute frenzy. 2 teams putting each other on their last legs.
Yeah, we're going to see this shot come out from Shurima, but it instantly gets turned as MP and Kolji both connect on the helmet at the same time and instantly put him down. And Noble did lose another player there during that replay, so they are down to 1 player left alive. We still have all 15 teams up, but a couple of them are in a really rough shape. Gabesmon and Psycast, last 2 left alive. And let's
We got to just take another look at Psychos here, Jason. Just absolutely insane. And like you said, now Noble and Alliance are going to just find themselves completely on their last leg. If we assume that one of them's going to fall, and look, they're in a fight with each other right now. We see a few more kills coming in, and it is going to be Obey Alliance, a team that was struggling to get kills. Now they're definitely starting to find their momentum here. Gabe is going for these long-range shots, getting into the police car, needs to get out of dodge, and you can see not the best car to be jumping into. Crank going to be able to trade out onto Obey Alliance, and just like that, we are going to have our first team out of it.
It's actually Gangstars. It's not even Obey Alliance or Noble.
It's really insane to see. That is going to be a new feature here on our scoreboard. You can see that just that read out name on that bottom right portion of your screen. That means that that team has been fully eliminated from the tournament now. Psychos going to be inside of the gas, trying to heal himself up. Has a big burden on himself at this point. Obviously, his team is able to get 3 kills. Do they try to extend for the modifier? Does he look for more kills? Does he take himself out of elimination to not eliminate the point? At this point, I think he still wants to get... He wants to be cheeky and then be aggressive, and then depending on who is left standing, that's when maybe he makes the decision about running into the gas and just ending it there. But now our ring going to get just a little bit tighter here, Jason. Yeah, it's going to close in. Nobody really in the dead center, and this is where you start trying to play the outside of the circle and control the circle a little bit. One of the things to talk about, too, Alliance going to finally go down. They're going to be the 3rd team eliminated. One of the things to talk about, though, on Gangstars before they went down, they were actually sitting in 8th place with 33 points. So an early out might drop them to the bottom half of the current leaderboard overall. And that's the thing. You can't slip up when the bubble is the way that this bubble is. I mean, we talked about 2nd to 12th place. It was like, what, 9 points separating all of these squads? So now ultimately we are in a situation where this is going to be a big swing week, and Prodigy Aces trying to do just that. Lets out a couple of shots into the vehicle, set to destroy X this time, playing a lot differently. Not playing nearly as aggressive as they typically do, but now in our destruction derby, Prodigy Aces needs to run through. Stop a little, jumps out, looks for the fight. Prodigy Aces, though, just starts cleaning them up, and all of a sudden, this is a feeding frenzy.
He loses 1 player, but he ends up trading out and picking up a ton of kills there, taking out the majority of C9. Imperial How, we can see out ahead. Prodigy Aces now trying to get him lined up, trying to find him with those grenades. It's going to be a little bit far for that throwing arm, though.
Benny Boy just needs to heal himself up right now. That's the biggest thing. If they get out of this with Benny Boy still intact and they only lose Stop a Little, that would be crazy. Cloud9 only going to have Imperial Hal left up. Let's see how Imperial Aces was actually able to get us into this situation in an instant replay. But just like that, while we're staying on live with the live feed, we just see somebody go down to that frag.
Yeah, we're going to see these shots come out from Prodigy as he just starts eating up C9. C9 did hop and ended up taking out Stomp a Little. Prodigy Aces, though, going to make them pay for taking down his boy.
Stomp a Little, though, he does his damage, right? And he really does grab most of the attention, and that is how Prodigy Aces is able to just kind of continue shooting in. He basically grabs the aggro from this team, but we do not have enough room for our 45 players now. And it is getting very sketchy. Epsilon has yet to score a point. They were our leader going into today, but they have a relatively healthy team here again, but a little bit of deja vu. Balin's going to be down again. That is what we saw earlier. And when we entered, coming into week 1, he was incredibly important. That helmet going to be knocked off. Melander's able to put it back on. Pineapple's in the wings, going to be able to take down Megs. What will Melander be able to do here? Will he be able to bully this squad with his boys in tow? And just like that, we are very close to hitting that modifier range. Epsilon is just going to be chewed up here. Are they going to be taken out before they even get in? And just like that, Epsilon does make it into the modifier, but they don't have it. They have 2 points right now. 1 player going to be left up. This is such a crazy week. Epsilon taken out. CLG going to be the ones that put Apex, Shay, and Epsilon in their place. And now we could have a new leader by the end of this match. Echo Fox, one of the teams looking to do it. They got 5. Obey Alliance, of course, does have 5, but they are out of contention at this point. Who is going to be able to grab that first place spot in week number 3 of our Pro League?
Luminosity getting eaten up there. We're going to lose Sign. OG Triv elsewhere on that map in that CLG TSM battle. He's going to go down. We can see Kreenak now throwing down into the vehicle, and TSM now pushing up the mountain. Kreenak needs to turn back around, get eyes on them, or get out of there. It looks like he's going to put down some Molotovs and basically just hold them off from letting them push up the mountain on them, and it looks like they decided to rotate out of that. So they had the high ground. I think they had the better position, but they choose to rotate out of that, and now we're going to lose Moose on Tempo Storm to JP2, one of the players that we were talking about earlier, one of the support guys for Luminosity.
All right, now we're going to see that little cheeky roll come in. Reptar still just pinned behind this tree. Going to pop out here, going to let out a few shots. Very cheeky peeks. Will it actually turn into a kill? One of the things is if he jumps into that fight and he manages to get a pinch, Vago is going to, you actually see Imperial Hall just drop down to the ground as Vago does go down. Now Imperial Hall still in this very disadvantaged in this fight, but Huskers goes out.
Huskers gets taken out by that nade.
Riki is going to be able to clean up Imperial Hall.
We've seen Riki and Zeke kind of hold on for long periods of time before. We'll see if this is one of those matches where they can pull that off. Nightwalker going to net himself a kill onto Zach from Tempo Storm. Tempo Storm down to just Reptar and Rhino left. We've seen Reptar come up big. He needs to get some healing though. He needs to get stabilized. He's really low, down to 6 health. Has a heal rolling, but if any damage comes in, he's going to go down. Reptar and Rhino both eliminated by JP2.
We're very close to our top 5 here. The team that makes it into the top 5 will guarantee 1.5 multiplier. The 2x multiplier only goes to first place. Shell Shock goes down, but we still see the representation of 6 teams. Now it is going to be Flamehawker who jumps out for just a second here. Now on board with Jeesh. Jeesh has eye lines on just about everyone. He can spray and pray just a little bit when he does come out. Drop, going to be able to grab a 2-piece. He takes down Grimmy Bear. He's not done yet. Jeesh finally does fall, and Prox as well. Everybody standing on their last leg. All 6 of these teams. Nightwalker into the night, into the darkness of that smoke. Dive Fias from his team is going to go down, which puts Nightwalker just with one other member of his team. Will it be enough to get some damage done? Carta going to fall from TSM, Jason.
Yeah, CLG Kreenak gonna find Carta. Sweet Dreams now gonna get taken down by Chipsy. We are into the top 5 teams. Only 11 players up, so all of these teams missing players. I don't think we have a full team up. Set to Destroy, definitely the closest to that, being a full team. They got only 1 player down. Could see them pull this off. Benny Boy just barely hanging on there. And Drops is gonna come through with that shoddy that we've seen him use before. Takes down Nightwalker. JP2 finally gonna go down. Set to Destroy still coming in.
This is their opportunity to go crazy here. Set to Destroy X just 2 points from the lead as far as raw eliminations are concerned. If they stay on top, if they grab all of these eliminations, we could easily see one of the highest scoring matches that we've seen so far. They're going for that 2x multiplier, but it is going to be Riki who tilts the scale just a little bit. Now he's getting some onslaught here from LG, but he knows Set to Destroy X is who he wants to take down. But going to be able to put him into his place. Top 4 teams, LG amongst them right now, a team that struggled so much. Now Chipsy is their last hope here to just progress that much further on the leaderboard. Epsilon, the #1 team, has been out for quite some time. Will this be set to, I feel like this is Set to Destroy's day to just reign supreme. They looked so good in the first game. What will they do here? Zeke gonna put out a couple of shots. Our top 3 teams still gonna be up. Set to Destroy X is going to have 10 points. If they pull down first, that will be 20, which is what they got last time.
And Set to Destroy definitely set up here in the 3v1v1. So we've seen these situations before. If Zeke and Drop can start lining up some shots together, they might be able to get a couple of these guys down and turn it. And down goes Prodigy Aces. That is the main slayer for Set to Destroy. That is a rough player to lose in this late game situation. They definitely want that 2x multiplier. Doug now looking for a shot. He's gonna get the nade kill onto Drop. Drop gonna get eliminated. We're down to a 2v1. Zeke versus Set to Destroy.
This is worth so many points though as well. He really wants that modifier. Now it's going to be on a little bit of a disadvantage. Evened up just a little bit. Zeke is going to be against these 2 players. Shots coming in. Doug is raw, doesn't want to give up the point, and he is able to take down Zeke while protecting his teammate as well. And all of a sudden, this team is going to look like the team to beat. I think they might just... they may have just shot up on the leaderboard because Epsilon was just pretty much taken out of it. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Set to Destroy X.
I mean, massive game. 24 points in that one. That means that they took down a total of 44 points today. That's massive.
If they're able to just get a few more kills there, it's the highest scoring game.
That's the biggest week so far.
This is the biggest week. They don't have the highest scoring map. The highest scoring map is still going to be 28. But But this is actually, we
I mean,
talk
if you're
about
averaging out
consistency.
over 20 points, you're averaging out at 22 points a match. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. This team's actually been like the most consistent in a lot of ways.